I thought we were supposed to be partners now.
I know.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thursday at 10 o'clock.
This is our time.
Our time.
Maybe they have a hard out. They're done right at 10. Like where we start at 10, they always end at 10.
Oh, that makes sense. We're starting early too. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we are starting early. Hello, everybody. I shouldn't show that. My goodness gracious.
What was that?
Nothing. No, it's just a website we share movies and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Nothing bad.
No. You can get bad movies though, right? Like
I don't know. Honest to God, I've never even tried. Seriously.
Really? Yeah. The tube sites are too convenient.
Well, that's the thing is like once you discover them, it's like you don't really need anything.
Did you know what I did during the pandemic? I took them up on that free offer on you know how they were giving it.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. My buddy took him up on it too, and
it was quite nice.
It was like a cease and desist order after like 2 weeks. Like he was using too much bandwidth or something.
Really?
Something like that. I'll get the story for you, for everybody.
So where are we starting?
Oh, I would say let's do a recap of Warrior Women because I think that KMS came out so strong. There's plenty to talk about inside of both of them, but we can kind of meander with the KMS stuff, and the Warrior Women stuff is certainly. I think we have to explain what's going on. There's just so much, even since last we left off. I'll just do a quick overview. So Warrior Woman is she's a cute woman. She's a little bit tall for her planet, built well, and on her planet.
I just think it's so funny. Like she's a little bit tall for her planet.
Well, I mean, there's no guy on her world that can beat her.
Yeah. So what I picture when you say that is. Every room she walks in, she bumps her head.
I don't see her as like a WNBA player. I'm really struggling
like Shaq, you know, like he can't even get in a normal car. He needs a
Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
But so she's on a planet. All of a sudden, her world gets taken over by some bad guy that they had exiled a while ago, and she has to make her way back to the home planet. In trying to get back to the home planet. She's on a ship. The ship has its own brain. It's kind of cute, but she also has a male companion robot. It's clearly like a gay robot, but like programmed to pleasure her. But she's never taking him up on that.
What gave you the inclination? I didn't get my gaydar didn't go off.
Oh, it's not clearly or anything like that. It isn't really anything. It's just sort of.
It's kind of a sissy robot.
Well, you know what? It's not even that. So this gets more into the author and like where her head's kind of at with some of this stuff. But like he's perfect in every way, except he's so perfect that there's nothing scary about him. I guess and so he's like the perfect gay friend. That's what I kind of mean, right? Like
He's safe because
he's the gay friend, right? He's the gay friend. She's the lonely woman, like you know, and off they go on this ship. We wind up crashed on a planet. Of course, the planet is populated with just.
Wait! They didn't crash. She purposely went to that planet, and they zapped her down like in Star Trek.
Okay, they zapped her. No. She zapped down onto the planet. But she doesn't think so. She's trying to get back to her home planet, but
she's not. No, she's not. She's going out.
They're all looking for her, so she's hiding. But why does she land on the planet then? I thought like it was
she's looking for reinforcements to maybe she could talk some sense into these people.
Okay, so
she's going out looking to like broker peace or something.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. So now she's on the planet. She winds up. Of course, the planet is popular.
That whole
Barbarians.
plot, that whole plot of the book
Mm-hmm.
about her trying to save the planet. She gets caught in this binding agreement with this guy. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Well, she lands on the planet. The planet is prehistoric, so to speak, or at the very least, they're riding around on giant cats. And
they refuse to embrace technology.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. And in that, they still hold a lot of traditions. And in that, they wind up.
Sorry. I just had this analogy come to mind. It's sort of like when you go to those like stupid like Jamestown or like Old Sturbridge Village. It's just people pretending like
Bingo.
No, we don't know what that cell phone is.
Bingo, and that's what it feels like too.
Yeah,
and it's exactly what it feels like. And she, so the barbarian, and the sort of the way that we were talking about this earlier today, and Sig had a excellent point. The way the author writes it is kind of clever. It's all sort of, or most of it's from the perspective of the heroine, the lead girl, but it's sort of written in his dialect, which is kind of stilted and barbarian. But it's sort of because she's learning the language as she goes along. So you're kind of hearing.
I just think it's so funny. We're having this like serious conversation, and you go, and it's because it's stilted and barbarian. Like that's like makes sense to people.
Well, they should be reading along. I thought we gave them all ample.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe they did. A few of them did, but we never gave them the good copy.
Oh yeah. Well, if anybody does read along and actually sees this and wants to join, please let us know. I'd love another person's opinion on it because now we get into it. So they get into a fight. She puts down a challenge or whatever, and I mean he just tosses around like a rag doll. He like lets her try her best. It's very cute, and then just tosses her like a rag doll. She loses, and she is like Sig was saying, she is then bound to him for a month. And apparently a month is the same there as it is here, as it is everywhere. Or at the very least inside her head, she realizes that it's 30 days, I guess. Who knows?
Well, because she has like a translator in her head, so she can.
Right. Well, it's not it's like she slept and learned the language in her head, but now she has to sort of connect the language with. She has to connect things from her planet with the stuff on their planet. So, like, a hatter is a giant cat.
Is it sort of like the Matrix?
Sort of feels that way. I mean, as far as you go to sleep and then you wake up and you know karate, it's the same kind of deal. Those are like, I don't even mind those type of outs. Like, that doesn't even bother me. The laziness is when it's like those names and things like that. Like, writing those type of like easy outs to figure that stuff is. Everybody has to do it.
Where do you think she came up though with the names like of the barbarians?
What do you mean?
Those aren't that lazy.
No, you're right about that. You know what though? We haven't really looked into it. It could just be like some Norwegian Viking thing or something. Who knows? Right. Anyways, bound.
So now he's like.
So now we're talking chapter 10 here. Chapter 11, and this is, to me, is supposed to be like a romance novel. Well, like a smut romance novel, and it does get there. But she's a virgin, which is impressive, especially for that land. And he's very upset that she didn't warn him or whatever. I didn't like the first encounter. Wasn't my cup of tea, but she was definitely into it. And I'll tell you, like the 2 or 3 chapters before that. Is very confusing because there's a lot of like, she's into him, but she's mad at him. Feels vaguely familiar.
I'm sorry.
You should be. So anyways, they wind up having sex. And then they have a lot of sex. For like 2 days, it seems like. He holds up. Are they traveling with more barbarians or do they just keep running into them? Are they out on like a hunt? What is that?
I don't know.
I got a better question for you. Does she explain the juice that he's drank?
I don't think. Yeah, later on you'll find out.
Right, like the next day when he wakes up.
Right, but it comes up again.
Later on in the book, you mean? Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, he's got to tell her about that because like he's completely different the first 2 days he's with her than he is the next like whatever 5 days. Well, the next 2 days after that. Let's say that at the very least. And let's see. So they're about to ride into town. I guess she's thinking that these guys are going to be the perfect army for her, which makes sense. They're all built the same way, kind of like Conan the Barbarian. Is what I would say.
Or He-Man.
Well, that's what I see as He-Man. That's where the haircut comes in and stuff. They all have long hair.
They're re-releasing He-Man characters and like toys.
Well, I know they did that Netflix thing. It wasn't very well received.
So they have this sword. So sometimes there's these weird shows where people just play with toys. And they
Sure.
Did you ever hear of Ryan?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I got 2 kids. Like Ryan, and the other one is that FGTV. The guy is still doing it, or I guess on YouTube and everything else. And hey, he looks good. He's lost a lot of weight too. Looks healthy. But my son watched him, and now my daughter's watching.
Yeah, and like Ryan, I think he makes like $10 million a year.
Oh yeah. Oh well, he's on my daughter's toothpaste. So yeah.
Hopefully his parents. Well, like for him, what did he have to do? Like I hope it's not like he had to work hard as a child actor.
No, he's just sort of playing. But I mean, I'm not faulting the kid by any means.
Oh no, but like the Olsen twins are fucked up because of their lifestyle. But all he basically did was his mom started filming him play with toys, and they put it on YouTube, and it was unintentional, I'm sure.
Well, we were talking about before the camera started rolling, so to speak. We were talking about sort of like kids' humor and just like how they're watching or sort of getting all of their entertainment and everything else. I guess people talk about it all the time, but it's all YouTube and memes. They talk. So when I went trick or treating with them, I thought it was
his net worth is $100 million.
Well, that's a lot of money.
And he's like 5.
Where is he from? Is he like a?
Let's see.
He's like 5.
100 million. He's 11 now.
Yeah.
So he's worked for that 100 million.
But there's not a lot, but I guess it's sort of. It is definitely this generation's. Those are this generation's like TV stars, movie stars, and stuff. I mean, I don't know the last time he's watched a whole show, a whole movie, and I just paid for another 3 years of Disney, and we haven't watched Disney in forever.
You don't watch the Disney Plus?
No. I'm gonna try and get them into Andor. I mean, I want to watch that, and.
Well, like we just rewatch all the old like I've probably in the last couple of weeks watched Cars like 30 times.
Yeah. Well, boy, the Frozen thing last year or 2 years ago was tough. That was a lot of Frozen.
Well, I don't have a sissy boy, so.
Yeah, but Cars would be just as bad. Like
Cars is good though.
Nah.
There's no singing. It's creative. I love things that pretend they're in our world and they act like humans.
Anthropomorphized. Like cars and trucks and stuff.
I just found a video that's just
Hello, everybody. This is my son.
Just a picture of a chick.
Well, he should get a little credit because he did draw our logo.
Going on for an hour.
He drew us our logo. He's the artist.
No, I tweeted that this morning. I gotta get it. I gotta get it painted. I want to get it like scanned sort of into a PDF file or something, so that we can kind of edit it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm.
See you later, Finn.
I think he took off. It's hot in here with that door shut, but whatever the case may be, it's freezing outside, I guess. How is it there?
It's freezing, yeah. We're supposed to get flurries.
Well, yeah, we already talked about Buffalo, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. 3 feet.
There's going to be some people that are going to die.
Probably. But you know what? They really should be ready for it. It happens all the time. My in-laws are a little bit past where it all happens, but
that's good.
That being said, they'll still get a couple feet.
Just your father-in-law, though. Your in-laws. Your mother.
Well, yeah, right. This is my father.
Yeah, but the book. I mean,
right,
so basically, we're in the sex phase of the book, and then I think there'll be more. There's going to be more and more sex, and then it's going to come to like, I got to solve this whole plot of them in the.
Well, so that's kind of what I'm wondering. So I had higher hopes by now to have sort of been delved a little bit deeper into sort of the politics, but I guess that's not going to happen, which is fine. Is it like I already know that it's like a chain of books, so like they're not going to resolve this whole world, this whole like other world thing. I don't think. I'm kind of guessing now that the resolution is sort of just getting the army together and getting them off the planet or something. Would be
well, maybe like because like there's multiple different states of barbarians,
right.
And this barbarian group is probably the more they've held on to the old ways more than the other ones. But once she gets together, they're gonna fall in love, and he's gonna marry. Like they're gonna get married, and they're gonna come back to her world. This is my prediction, and they're gonna take over. They're gonna take over her world, and then each book in the series is them defending their world or whatever.
Okay, so my original thought was like, oh, Dune. Like my head was all Dune. I don't know. I guess because I had higher hopes, but like I was thinking like multiple worlds. We're gonna get like all kinds of politics, and I was gonna start sort of playing with the scenarios of where is this author kind of getting all that from. But this is not about any of that at all. This is all about sort of emotions and like this woman kind of. Well, I mean, at the moment, it's just sort of a fantasy. That was the last thing I wanted to finish on is that all this is a fantasy. This is this woman's fantasy. This is the author's fantasy. Fine. Whatever. It's not my type. It's not my cup of tea. That being said, the last thing I'll say is I think it's beautiful that the main love interest shows up on a giant cat, and like the cat is all purry, and like I just think it's just there's just so many layers of that makes me laugh.
Me too.
So we'll leave that there. And
so what were you saying last week? I think.
Right.
I might have fallen asleep. Well, I think you said that Kirk's not putting effort into the show anymore, and
I said that clearly there was effort that was being directed towards the case, that I thought he might be frustrated. I think you brought up that it was his birthday, and I think that probably you were right. Just sort of a down week, birthday, really busy, had a lot of stuff going on. Maybe I shouldn't be so judgy. Certainly. But
good. That was good.
Sunday night was fantastic. I listened to it Monday. You were saying something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were doing that was a good mea culpa you just did.
Yeah. I just worry.
I forgot to say congratulations. You guys took the Senate or the by one vote by one.
Is that all it is? Is that right now or right now?
Yeah, right now they're at 218.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that nothing's going to get done. and I'd like that to happen the whole time.
Yeah.
I'll be ecstatic if nothing changes up there. Oh, you know what? We were talking about it. Absolutely fine. I think it's Weasley that the Republicans jump on this marriage thing now. Like, that doesn't impress me. That just tells me that they stuck their finger in the wind and decided that, now's the time.
We better bend a little bit, because we've been saying that our constituents don't want this, but in all reality is they do.
Right. So that's sort of a populist thing, and they're kind of listening to the vote or whatever, I guess. But when you see like Mitt Romney and
he wrote a whole thing about it too.
It's just like
he was like one of the longest
anything. I really don't.
He like the longest holdover for against it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even know they were going to do it. It was one of those things where the leverage and the timing was just perfect. Like, there's never going to be a better time. That's why they did it, which is fine. That's all great. Whatever. And you know what? Mitch McConnell with his power play, keeping the Senate, like after a humiliating loss in the Senate, demands a vote, gets it instantly. All these other senators look like they got their dicks in their hand. Can't figure anything out.
Yeah, saying like, let's wait for Georgia. Blah blah blah. Because Herschel Walker deserves a vote if he wins. They're gonna be like Herschel Walker's best friend, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham.
I think they should give it to Herschel Walker. I think it should be brokered Senate, and it should be Herschel Walker and Fetterman. That would be awesome.
That would be.
Oh boy. So, and they did the Bonjour thing, which was really funny. And then the Bonjour thing came back around on whatever it was, Wednesday, for the Kevin and Kevin skit, which was, I think, widely accepted as hilarious. I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, even the critics would have to say that was funny.
Well, I would hope so. Now, did you hear the critics yet? That dropped this morning, or was it yesterday morning? Minifandom.
I didn't hear it.
I haven't heard it yet either. Kirk
did not sound like he was fake mad. He sounded really mad.
He sounded real mad, and so yeah. I mean,
he sounded like the same sort of tone that he has for Chris Klemmer towards Shattuck.
Yeah, which
surprised me.
Why would Shattuck get his ire of all of those people? Certainly, I would think the Australian.
Yeah, because Shattuck's just stupid. He's like a dumb like a puppy dog.
Shattuck
he just runs into problems.
Shattuck is pre-Madawaska Mike. He's just a fat, drunk, dumb doofus.
Yeah,
and so
he's not as cool as poor Madawaska Mike.
He's not as fluent. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, it's cool. Oh yeah, no, God, no. But everything I hear, everything antagonistic is coming from Menners. It's as simple as that. So maybe just cut Menners out of his life. I would not cut Shattuck out. Shattuck is a good punching bag. He's fun to punch at.
If anything, Menners took advantage of Shattuck.
Exactly. Yeah, and then I saw Tim's apology. I don't know, a little late for me, but I don't know.
Tim who?
Reigold's.
What did he apologize for?
He was the third man in on that show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know because I didn't listen. I just know he had to apologize for something afterwards. So we'll have to listen to that at some point.
At the end of the day, though, if it wasn't Menners, if Shattuck was I don't even know what Shattuck said. Oh, it was making fun of the sporty thing. See, yeah, I think that is also why, because Kirk is a little more sensitive than he is for a lot of things. For those creative outlet things.
But that's because, you know why? That's because it's very hard to do that type of stuff. Like, it's just hard to do it in general. And when there's just a group of people that are just looking to complain or to shit on it, that's frustrating. I completely get that. I don't see a problem in him bailing on it at all. Like, if he didn't like where it was going,
he's the expert.
That makes perfect sense. Absolutely. My thing though is like, I thought that I loved the Hammer. I thought it was avant-garde for me. Like, it wasn't my cup of tea. I kind of like the skits, the commercials in between. I thought those were pretty good.
Did you like the Cullen episode?
Same kind of thing is like, I really appreciate the art. I love that he's taking a step out. You know, he's a genius, and I mean that's why I'm a fan. He really is a genius. He is very talented, and he will elevate whatever he does. Right. So I don't do the case. I just too much, but anything else, like any interview show, anything like that, he makes it better. So. They talked about Trump's announcement. Trump announcement. There's not much to that. Everybody knew that was happening. I don't know. I don't got anything too worked up about it. I would never back away from voting for him. Like, it's not. I just think it's funny. Like, I think he's funny. And
yeah, but so I want you to clearly state you're not a MAGA.
No, not at all. No, my thing is that.
What if there was an autistic lib part of your tribe that went and was running?
Well, that's what it sounds like. That the guy that built that FDX guy sounds like he's one of our tribe that was going to try and run. He gave like $10 billion to Democrats. No, I mean, my thing is, I like that both extremes are there showing themselves, and I don't mind when there's a balance like it is now, finally, with like the House to kind of put some stops in, make them as crazy as they can be, especially for the primaries. I get 0 horses in the race, but I can't see myself voting for Biden, Harris, Buttigieg. I mean, like, I don't know. I can't even. I couldn't tell you the first.
What about the governor from
No.
from New Hampshire?
Sununu?
Yeah.
I liked his dad. I lived under his dad's governorship, I think.
Didn't him and Howie Carr have a tiff?
I think they had a little bit of a tiff because he supported like a candidate or something, but like it was like a paid support. I think it was paid advertisement or something.
Oh, Howie did?
Yeah, it was something like that, I thought. I mean, I don't want to slander him. I certainly wouldn't want Mrs. Howie, who, you know what he used to call her? Or maybe that was the other one. But he used to call one of his wives submit. Like it was, and it was really, he thought it was really funny for a long time.
Me Too era.
Exactly.
What was my the funny moment? Well, the Dave stuff still gets me going. Like, there's a Dave moment every show now.
Oh yeah. Well,
like what about like when he drove to Matt Siegel's show?
Right. Well, that's it. So what's sort of blowing up over on Twitter right now is just nobody believes he just drove over there, didn't have any problems parking or anything, got in. He was a little bit late, but had lots to say about the opening act, which seems odd, but okay. And then he plays a good snake because he is a snake. It's as clear as that to me.
Yep.
I like Mike's unpredictable. He comes out of the Meghan Trainor thing, right? Like,
I didn't get to that. Was that at the end?
That's at the end. It comes up at the end, and it's like a really kind of weird sort of routine. And I kind of wondered if it had anything to do with Dino, because Dino was super into. I thought it was Meghan Trainor because like Meghan Trainor's dad lived on the Cape or had a house on the Cape and was friends with Dino or something like that. And then the Megan Trainor thing comes up, and Dave is like, well, isn't she from around here or Foxborough or something? And Mike just keeps going back to how great she is, like how great her music is. And it's kind of funny, but I don't know. Let's see, what's the other day? So that was Sunday's episode. How's the football game going?
Oh, good. My team's winning, but I need the Derrick Henry to score another touchdown.
Oh, he already got one. That's
Yeah, so I put a $50 wager on it, and it pays out $67. So that's pretty good.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's not bad. No,
and then I put 25 on the Titans +3. So the Titans are getting 3 points right now. They're up. They're winning by 3. So. What are you queuing up?
I was looking for the other show. That was whatever show that was. I was looking for the other one for the week.
We should we should plan it. When do they put the best of episodes on?
5 days ago. That would have been Saturday, I think.
Because I watch it or listen to it. I just put YouTube on when I have the car plugged in.
Yeah, the intern Harris is good. Is really good. Like I think I said last week. If I have enough time, all you need to do is sort of grab the Twitter timeline, and normally the YouTube thing is easier to sort of navigate. Everything's really old on here for some reason. I don't know if these settings are all screwed up. I ran to do it real quick. But
what's your background?
Like my schooling background?
No, no. I know that.
Oh,
the background that you just showed. It said an LM.
Oh yeah, Linux Mint. It's I do a ton inside of other types of Linux, like the Raspberry, the little microcomputers and things like that. But I've never used like a really robust Linux operating system. So I put it on here and I fell in love with it. It is amazing. And it's like it's cheaper because almost everything is open source. So almost 90% of the stuff that you have to buy for Windows, you can get for Linux. You just have to kind of compile it and make it yourself a lot of the times. But it's normally there's a guide. Somebody more autistic than me has laid out a pretty good guide normally.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think that anybody's more autistic than another. Has more of an ability in computers.
Well, I agree, but that's the fault of everybody before now.
No, I understand.
Yeah, like, I
have to say it if I hear it.
No, that's fine, and I get it. But I was even explaining to somebody yesterday, like even like Spectrum, really, I bet you if you ask them, they'd take it back. They wouldn't use the word Spectrum because even that isn't really it. It doesn't really do it justice.
There's some people on the internet, on Twitter, who make a case that ADHD is a spectrum.
I mean, there's a lot of overlap.
Well, like in the sense of like, you met one ADHD person, you haven't met another one. Like the same with autism.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. That was something I was actually had my therapy session today, and it's something like that she said about it. It's like it's different for everybody. I think we were talking about anxiety, and we were getting really esoteric about it. I was talking about sort of that boundary of where medicine touches the brain and the subconscious and the reality, and how it sort of can help manifest things.
So my elementary understanding of how my meds help my brain, I would just say like I take Zoloft for anxiety, and I take Adderall for ADHD, and it doesn't do anything where it makes me feel like I'm not the same person. It muddies the part of my brain that's lacking and cause these neurological deficits. Does that make sense?
Well, very much so. Very much so. But I wonder if it's because like I have a very similar experience. Like I mean, it's just such a clarity. Like it just helps me focus on what I want to focus on. And normally, while I'm doing that, there's like 900 other things. And when things get really stressful, then I can't keep them all going. And what I did, unfortunately, was got all the balls going and then forgot how to juggle for a little bit, which is...
Yeah, right. But yeah, so that's what, like, now Risperdal and other medications, like, that are antipsychotic, that's a different thing where it's a different deficit. So that's when you start, they might not feel like themselves because you're fucking with the brain then. Like, Zoloft is a serotonin inhibitor. So what it does is it basically, the part of your brain for anxiety and depression that needs more of a certain chemical. It basically opens that part of the brain up more.
Yeah, the receptors. Yeah, exactly.
Instead of like, Risperdal sort of floods your brain with different chemical cocktails because you're more aggressive or you're more moody, and it really tones those down. But sometimes it's like, it's a guessing game.
Well, yeah, that's what it seems like. Certainly, although they do great things nowadays. When I first saw my psychiatrist,
if you have a good psychiatrist, though, like
he did a full DNA workup and stuff. It was nice.
Like my psychiatrist is like, my company. She went away from like a big hospital, like a hospital system, on her own, and that she's killing it in doing that. It's electroshock therapy, but for like depression. But it's like really, really prescribed where they have you hooked up to like a system and everything. Yeah. It's not like what they like you saw like in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know, it helps a lot of people. Like
I'm sure
it dulls the depression so that the medication helps enough. Where before the depression just no medication would help it. It will dull it for months.
I can coming
for not everybody, but for some people.
But coming from a place where for first 38 years of my life, like it was hard for me to get my head around like a lot of that, like all those type of feelings and those type of like I don't know the right word for it. Like just sort of the working on yourself thing was not very.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't have the blueprint, like you had nobody in your life, no adult, anybody ever talk to you about it. How can you know?
Right. Yeah. And it seems strange. I mean, it's so weird because like it was sort of the Asperger's thing was a running joke. But nobody ever said, well, maybe we should get you tested. I don't know that anybody ever thought that you could be tested. I know it was never an idea in my head until I got married practically. Or after, really. Anyways, we're back to that.
Let's say you stayed in a New England town. Do you think it would have maybe been different?
So I think about all that a lot because if I had stayed in the New England town where I was growing up, I had an uncle and aunt that were actually my dad's uncle and aunt that moved into this little town from Florida. They moved up, to be kind of close to us or whatever. I mean, it's a little town, but he was an engineer. He's this little crazy engineer that would walk around with like a pocket square and all the everything. And he had all these experiments going on, and his wife was the same way. Just the cutest little couple ever. But I think my life would have been a lot different if I'd stayed there with them. But in a small town, I think that I would have slipped through the cracks just like I slipped through the cracks moving around. I just think that I don't think people were testing for it. I just bumped into somebody yesterday. Yesterday at work, and a really nice person said that like she was adult diagnosed ADHD, and oh my god, it was the same story. Like resource room, off to the closet next to band camp. Nobody ever talked to her about any of that stuff. It's crazy how many people probably slip through the cracks. Our age, certainly, but even older too. I mean, even older, they probably got the crap beat out of them, like spanked and shit at school.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Huh. Well, there's something going on in the game, but
I'm sure
yeah.
there is.
No, definitely my wife's uncle, one of them was one of those kids, and he's in his 60s, and he was in Catholic school.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
Dude, he has some scars from that.
I don't know. I can't even imagine. Like, yeah.
Like Catholic school, for up until the 70s, was the parents would say you deserved what happened to you.
I kind of think probably even into the 80s and 90s, a little bit of that was going on.
Yeah.
So you do a couple Dear Abbies and then say goodnight.
Sure. Oh, and I watched The Dozen, and Kirk killed it on The Dozen.
Oh, was that last night? 2 nights ago?
Last night. They went on a 12-3 run, so essentially they scored 12 points, and the other team only scored 3 at one point in the game.
Oh boy, they're gonna build it. They're gonna build all this up for the show. What is it? It's not next week, is it?
No, 2 weeks.
Next
week, yeah, Thanksgiving. But it was this new guy, Ev. This team's not gonna lose.
Nice.
Because they're getting the questions that Kirk doesn't know, and the way Evan about sports.
Oh, good. Well, that's fine. Well, that's what they needed. Is somebody that was strong with sports, college sports especially, and basketball, I would guess. But I don't know. I think
Let's dip our toe in the etiquette and ethics category.
Okay. Hair turns house sitting gig.
That one's funny. That one will be funny. What we say. Ailing. Sorry, I'm pointing. Ailing father insists on getting behind the wheel.
Okay, yeah. We should do that one. I think we both have dads still alive, unlike other people in our life.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's a weird flex.
It's a terrible flex too. Yeah. But if you want to get his attention, that's the things you do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get his attention, by the way.
Kirk, over here.
Trying to get his attention. Okay, let's see. Ailing father insists on getting behind the wheel, and I think we can all sort of, unless your parents never. Dear Abby, my father, who is 84, just had a mild stroke. The problem is he wants to drive his car. My sister says we should just let him, but I don't think he's capable of driving safely anymore. She says we can't legally stop him from driving. Dad has occasional dizzy spells and double vision, which started the day he had the stroke several weeks ago. He has also lost a lot of weight and has been told he needs to eat a healthier heart diet.
First of all, that shouldn't even matter in the driving thing.
Well, let's finish here. So Dad has diabetes and high cholesterol. Neither does any of that. He has had problems with his memory lately, too, and not just age-related. He can't remember details from the doctor's appointment, forgets to take his blood pressure pills a couple times a day, can't remember what he's supposed to do. I think he should be taking care of that. I I think we should be taking care of Dad and driving him around whenever he needs to go anywhere. I personally do not want him endangering himself or others in driving. Please advise. Caution in California. Sorry.
So basically, she can make her opinion known, but there's nothing she can do to stop him from driving. So,
well, wait a minute. There, in California, like he's having dizzy spells. He just had a stroke. Like his doctors signed off on like him driving. Like, wouldn't his doctor? Yeah, couldn't she?
And this is probably one of those. She's not telling the whole story thing.
Well, I mean, like I think the other thing is like, what's the problem here? What's the hang up as far as does her sister not want to help or something? Let's finish this and then.
Can I just say something real quick that's off topic? What's your favorite cryptid?
What's my favorite what?
What's your favorite cryptid? Like, favorite, like, mythical animal?
Oh, my favorite mythical animal? Is it like, what's the flying lion from Narnia?
From Narnia?
Yeah.
I like Wendigos.
There's a lion in Narnia. I don't think there's any flying lions in it.
Oh, so who's the fly? Well, sorry. The flying lion from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. King something. I forgot.
Well, mine's a Wendigo.
What's that?
Oh, it's like a cryptid or something.
Oh, is it like he goes, when I'm around, we just go to Wendy's and go. We just go to it.
Look it up. It's creepy, and it's basically so the thing is basically and like in certain religions, like I don't know, I forget, like say like the Indians, I'm not sure, they have this like thing where like if you eat it starts off as a human. And then, if you eat a person, basically cannibalism, and you turn into one of those, and basically,
it doesn't sound like something.
You're always hungry for human meat.
It doesn't sound like something that is possible, though.
It doesn't matter. Like that, the reality is like the last of his concerns. Like his answer is essentially that there's multiple universes where his reality. His perfect reality is there somewhere. Go, take a hike. My perfect reality is you not interrupting me. As last we left our Dear Abby article, this lady's father is on his way out and still wants to drive. Dear Cautious, it's time for a serious family discussion about how to handle this. Your father needs a lot more help than a chauffeur service. He needs someone to accompany him to his doctor's appointments and someone to supervise or administer his medicines. He should not be behind the wheel of a car, and I'm not sure he should be living alone. His doctor should be contacted about informing the DMV about your father's health status. He may also need assisted living. And yeah, I mean, like if he is off as bad or as bad off as this woman is saying, which on this one, I have no reason not to believe her, then his doctors will just take his license away. That happens quite often. That doesn't mean it's going to stop this guy from driving. I think the more to the point is that, yeah, they need to have a family discussion and figure out if they're going to pay somebody to help or they're going to, shift off the help or whatever. I'm not going to do much for mine. I'll tell you that right now.
Good to know.
Yeah, but they know. Anyways, I don't know. Moving on.
I think if you needed to help them move to assisted living, you would. But you're not going to do the research.
We'll see. Let's see. We'll do one more, and then we're gonna.
Can we do a religion one?
Oh yeah, that sounds fun. I know my religious corner fell through.
I know. Well, we could always bring it back.
I don't like being preachy. Is the thing. Like that's not
You're not. It's just you're basically just telling the story in a BioDude way of telling it.
Which is fun, and I do like doing that too. I especially like it because I think that the sermons that I get from my pastor are phenomenal. I mean, I really think he does. He had another just sidewinder. I think it was this last.
Do you think he has a speechwriter?
No, I think he's done the same. I mean, like I've been going for 12 years there. He does the same thing over and over again. But I think when you do that, every time you're looking for something different.
Yeah.
And
so do you think he'll like, oh, there's not a low crowd. There's a low crowd today. I can workshop a new one.
No,
Chris Rock will go and like try out new material at like smaller clubs.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, no, I think he always gives like his A game. I think he workshops it in like smaller, Wednesday services and other things like that. But again, like I said, I think he's done the same.
About as most, you don't go to Wednesdays.
No, I used to. I was raised to go on Wednesdays. Twice on Sunday, Wednesdays, and then
you go twice on Sundays.
Yeah, growing up, yeah, we would go twice on Sundays. What's that?
Not now.
Yeah, you're out.
You don't do 2 Sundays now.
I barely do one. I do one.
Yeah, half of them are you're a home Baptist.
Oh, exactly. I like now that it's on YouTube. Ever since COVID was probably the best for bad Christians because like if there's even a thought that it's not going to be him preaching, we'll stay home and watch it on YouTube. That's funny. I like him. I think he's a really good guy. Anyways, husband feels powerless amid marriage.
Dude, you can give a plug to your church.
It's Cape Cod Church. I'm not a member. I just have been going forever. I should be.
Sneaks in.
Pretty much. For a long time I did. They finally found me recently. I was like, oh. But, I mean, I feel bad, too, because, like, my kids have been going there. We actually had them dedicated there and everything. So, I should be more of a part of it. But I have my own issues. Not with the church. I have my own issues personally. Let's see. Women's judgmental nature unleashed.
Wait, is this can't be a church one?
Which? That's what religion?
Huh. That's weird. Okay. Because it's the same one from.
Yeah, it says Lay's husband. That was husband and I in text. We read that one last week.
Yeah.
Dad's discomfort with trans.
We read that one too.
Yeah, we read that one like a couple weeks ago.
Ooh, this one.
Spiritual advisor, this one? Yeah. You want to read it?
Yeah, sure.
Let me see if I can get it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, because the camera view is in the way.
I'll move stuff around too.
Okay, cool. Boyfriend less than thrilled with women's spiritual advisor. Dear Abby, my longtime girlfriend has male friends who visit her during the day while I'm gone for about a week each month. I know them. They're interesting people, and I'm okay with that. Did we read this one? Has a
I don't remember it. I'm just laughing because it doesn't sound very promising for this guy.
Yeah, she now has a friend who is a faith-based healer. Some things she gravitates towards. Now, do you know what that means?
Faith-based healer? Yeah, that's sort of like the ones that I don't have to be, but the ones that sort of lay hands on you and they pray your sin.
And the blind can see and the crippled can walk. Those people.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in them, but to each their own. And hey, you're dancing with snakes and everything else, so whatever.
Yeah. He lives 3 hours away, and when he visits, he stays overnight. I met him recently. He's there now while I'm 2 states away. He does hands-on healing with her and other people she introduced him to. He goes in the water every day of the year, and now my girlfriend does too. Usually very early in the morning. Presumably they do this together while I'm away. Maybe he goes in naked. She would consider that natural. She told me to not worry about the overnights and hands-on healing because he is a man of God. I told her it doesn't make any difference. He is divorced and single. Am I being a dope to let this happen without making a strong objection? Mystified in Maine.
Maine, huh? Well, let's just start with Maine, man. Not surprising that this guy doesn't have a clue as what's going on.
Yeah, he definitely is blue collar and definitely.
Yeah, and he travels for work, and this.
And what guy uses it, like actually writes to Dear Abby?
Because you don't. At this point, you absolutely do not want to believe it. I mean, like, you know what? You could be Tom Brady, and it's gonna happen. Like, if she's traveling with her faith healer or her karate expert, guess what else she's doing with them? No offense, Tom.
Some hands-on healing. The vagina is a space that doesn't get healed very often by a man of God. Or I don't think it's supposed to, at least.
You hear it all over. The poor guy is.
His wife's cheating on him with her.
His wife is cheating on him, her girlfriend, or whatever it is. So here we go. Because this woman is your longtime girlfriend, you have the right to make your feelings about the arrangements known. If you weren't comfortable with the idea of her entertaining a divorced single man overnight in your absence, or you're 2 states away, by the way, you should have said so from the beginning. You probably did. And that's the thing, is I bet you he did. Whether the two of them are sexually involved is beside the point. I don't know. Kind of is the point. If she cares about your feelings, she would respect them. However, if she doesn't, then it may be time to find out. That is good advice, and that is a good way to put it. Like, I would not have been that nice to this guy.
Yeah, that's why nobody writes to you.
Absolutely. I do appreciate that.
Yeah. It'd be funny if people just started flooding your mailbox with just like advice.
I certainly was hoping people would start sending us Dear Abby letters or their own.
Yeah. Well, the problem is when you only have one view.
Yeah.
It's you.
I always feel better when I go back, like next week I'll go back to find this one to repost it, and there'll always be like 18 views. It's like, wow, not bad. I know it's was like, whatever.
It's all our friends, like.
Yeah. Or even more to the point, like robots, like.
Yeah, well, the one on the Periscope one, the one that goes right on.
The Twitter one?
Yeah, that one always has more views.
Yeah, I mean, I think people accidentally click on it for ground, but it is cute. I like trying anyways.
Oh, yeah, no, but it's fun because it gives us a chance to hang out and bro out.
Well, that's the perfect part about it. Without a doubt. And like I said, I like that it's sort of it'll be something that someday I'm going to put it all together, almost like this generation's 8mm home videos.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our version of that.
I think so.
Do you take a lot of videos of your kids?
No.
On your phone?
No.
I take so many of them. I probably have 1,000 videos of him.
It certainly fills up my phone, pictures of my daughter and my son, but no, I really don't. I should take more pictures. I'm just not quick at it. My daughter is absolutely like living with a movie, living in a movie. I mean, she thinks she's in Disney. With the she'll just break it.
That must be a nice life to live in.
It's nice. It must be nice not to have to worry about anything too. Although, man, she is mad all the time.
Is she mad, or is she just not sure how she feels, and that makes her mad?
She's loud and she likes to yell at me. I can't get inside her head too far past that.
I guarantee it's because of a sensory need.
Yeah,
it's not being mad. It's like you're the only person that's like in charge, so you got to figure it out for her.
I know. Well, I really am best at it. Like, I do figure the stuff out. Like, I'll sit and we'll talk it out. Eventually, I do figure it out for the most part. she so cute, so cute.
Let's go offline for this if you want.
Oh yeah, okay, that sounds good. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, a good weekend.
Yeah, good weekend.